Tonight, we are investigating my hometown, Unity. Typical all-American community? Or vortex of evil hidden underneath an idyllic shell? The Merchant House, as it's colloquially called, is what's left of the original estate belonging to Unity's founder, Christopher Merchant. This manor was built on top of the very location of the same indigenous village he and other colonists razed to the ground, rendering its tribe extinct.
Friday, 6:39 p.m. I finally made it to the Merchant House. My prior attempts of entry onto the estate grounds had been impeded by that rusted, heavy gate. As soon as I heard that there was going to be a party here due to its near isolation, I knew I had to take the presented opportunity. Granted, I had to lie to my parents like the other 6 did with theirs about what we were doing tonight. None of them are interested at all in helping me on this, and one of them absconded with my second camcorder for God knows what. But whatever. I've got this voice recorder and my EMF reader. Let them set up their party. All the years of seeing this looming ruin from a distance, the occasional stories I've heard around town, and what in-depth research I've been able to pull, do not do this place justice. But I'll celebrate later, because for now, it's time to search out some spirits.
The residents of Unity at the time grew resentful against Merchant's slaves, more so than they held against Christopher Merchant himself, as they were noted for their perceived robustness, even during a time when famine and illness struck the town. What the colonists didn't notice, or what they chose to ignore more accurately, was the seemingly expert care kept slaves healthy enough to live through Christopher's sadistic treatment, in conjunction with the typical harsh conditions one under slavery would face. He'd use any reason to personally punish them. Limbs were amputated for escape attempts. Whippings were for lower harvest yields. Fingers were boiled for subpar cooking. Fingernails were pried off for not being clean enough. With news of Christopher's death and Esther still missing, the fears of a brewing slave rebellion immediately took hold of the townspeople. Since nobody else in Unity owned slaves, the solution to quell any possible uprising was simple. All the slaves of the estate were rounded up and lynched, then their quarters razed to the ground. The only things left standing on the abandoned property afterwards were the barn, the crops, and the manor itself.
According to my EMF reader, I'm getting a reading from this guest room. I'm not going to set up my camera just yet. I first need more evidence of possible paranormal occupancy. Are there any spirits here? If there are any spirits here, please make your presence known.
It was the late 1800s when the Merchant House was purchased by a retired Commodore and big game hunter named Lee R. Albus. In advance to the move into his new home, he had the building renovated with additions of new rooms and fixtures. However, serious and fatal accidents seemed to plague the crews working on its reconstruction until the manor was finished. Along with the Commodore, a small housekeeping staff and his 3 hunting dogs became its new residence soon after completion. Within a couple of weeks, the staff who visited town told of strange and disturbing happenings over at the estate. At some point, Albus was convinced to reach out to a few known acquaintances fascinated by spiritualism and the occult, to join him in holding a seance to find answers. These acquaintances arrived more than several days later at an empty mansion. The Commodore, his dogs, and the staff had all vanished. The only signs anyone used to live there were all the furniture, personal belongings, and the food, a lot of which were splashed with blood.
What a gross-ass dining room. There's bound to be ghosts here. Are there any spirits here? If there are, please make your presence known. Alright. Up next, the kitchen. Ugh. Kitchen doors won't budge. Guess I'm going through the other way then.
The last owner of the merchant house was Scott Driscoll. He was not its resident, but a proprietor of a business that called it home. After another brief period of renovation and accidents, the manor became a gambling hall and cat house that served illegal alcohol. It was a popular establishment at the time for Unity and its neighboring communities. Any deaths of clientele and staff were kept quiet or explained away, with new folks easily replacing them, none being the wiser. It continued that way for almost a couple of years until Driscoll and his partners had a falling out over how to split the profits. These former partners sent some associates to put Merchant House out of business by turning it into what the police described as a slaughterhouse. This massacre led to the mansion's final abandonment as some form of permanent home.
I don't get it. Why the hell did the meter go off like it did? Am I missing something? Whoa! This has got to be the strongest reading yet. Back on the second floor? This has got to be it.
Despite different periods of vacancy, it seemed the bad energies of every past atrocity committed there permeated throughout the estate, creating a supernatural force that magnetically draws in further horror and darkness. There are estimated to have been many more victims, more than one could conceivably quantify. Anyone seen heading up in that direction was never seen alive again. The most well-known incident occurred some decades before the Commodore's ownership, during a particularly harsh winter. An immigrant family was forced to shelter at the abandoned mansion after the citizens of Unity refused them room and board to wait out a coming blizzard. Shortly after, cholera struck the town and blame fell on the foreigners. A mob arrived at the merchant house to run the immigrants out. Their wagons were still there, but the horses were dead and frozen from the snowstorm collapsing the barn. When the townspeople broke into the manor, they found the family brutally butchered and the father missing.
Hello? Are there any spirits here? Please make your presence known. Please show a sign of your presence. Any sign. What? Are you kidding me? Did I forget to replace the batteries in this thing? God. Batteries. Ugh. Where are those damn batteries? Ooh. Damn it, Joel! Break the door off its hinges, why don't you?
You playing with yourself, B-boy?
No. What do you want?
Was coming to put this in the bathroom. Here, catch. Flush the toilet if you use it.
We've also got hand sanitizer, so remember to use it before touching any of the food. Almost done setting up. See you back downstairs.
Alright, whatever.
If rumors are to be believed, among those said to have disappeared over the years at the estate included vagabonds, missionaries, runaways, hippies, Klansmen, state police, lost tourists, drug dealers, even a serial killer that called himself the Sawman, who